2024 was an amazing year for me in the credit card game. I was able to add staples in my wallet like the Amazon Prime Visa and Discover It that are going to give me 5% back on my purchases for a very long time. But in 2025, I believe that I can completely finish my credit card setup by adding cards that are going to cover every single one of my spending categories and making thousands of dollars in sign-up bonuses for free cash back and travel. But first, let me tell you the credit cards that I'm currently rocking with. I have the Amazon Prime Visa, which gives me 5% back on every single one of my Amazon purchases. I use this card a lot, and it's not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. I then have the Discover It card, which gives me 5% back on rotating categories. This card will usually give me some pretty good rewards, but I'm not a huge fan of rotating category cards. I then have the American Express Gold, which is giving me 4 points back on my groceries and dining, but I'm planning on canceling this card at the end of the year because I pretty much just got it for the sign-up bonus, and I don't want to pay a $325 annual fee anymore. I then have the PayPal debit card, which allows me to choose where I'm earning my 5% cash back, and I'm currently using it to earn 5% back on gas. All right, so right now as it is, I have already a pretty good credit card setup. I have cards for online shopping, dining and groceries, and then gas too. But what I'm really missing is a catch-all card for all my miscellaneous purchases, and then a permanent travel credit card. And that's exactly why the very first card that I'm going to be applying for in 2025 is going to be the Venture X. This card is so good, I don't even know where to start. Let's first talk about the upfront value that they're giving you with a 75,000 point sign-up bonus after you spend $4,000 within 3 months. If you redeem this for travel, it's easily worth $1,000 to $1,500. Plus, the rewards that you're earning with this card are some of the best in the business. You're going to get 10 points back on hotels and rental cars booked through Capital One's portal, 5 points back on flights booked directly through the Capital One portal, and then 2 points back on everything else. The points guy values these points right around 1.85 cents per point, meaning if you were to convert those points to cash back value, that would be 18.5 on hotels and rental cars, 4.95% on flights, and then 3.7 back on everything else. So as you can see, that 2x category is so useful. You can pretty much use this as your only credit card and just put all your spend on it and you'd be okay. There's really only one thing that scares a lot of people off, and that's going to be the $395 annual fee. But I don't even flinch when I see that annual fee because the benefits and statement credits that come with it are so good that Capital One pretty much pays you to have this card. You're going to get a $300 annual travel credit when you book travel through the Capital One portal. And then on top of that, they give you 10,000 anniversary miles every single year, which at the very least is going to be $100 when you use it for travel. So already that $395 annual fee is taken care of because it's giving us $300 as a travel credit and then $100 worth of points every year. But what I really love about this card is the benefits. It gives you free priority pass and Capital One lounge memberships with the ability to bring 2 people with you. And this is such a good benefit because a lot of the times you're not going to be traveling alone and you have another travel card like the Chase Sapphire Reserve and you want to go into a lounge, but you can only go in by yourself. That's going to be really awkward for all the people that you're traveling with. So I love that this Venture X card allows you to bring 2 people. You then have access to Hertz Presidential Circle Elite status, which gives you some great benefits like free upgrades on rented cars. Then you also get some great benefits like no foreign transaction fee, purchase protection, and cell phone protection. So as you can see, you pretty much get everything that you'd ever want in a premium travel credit card. To get these benefits, you'd have to pay $695 for the American Express Platinum or $550 for the Chase Sapphire Reserve. And those card statement credits are nowhere as good to this one. The only thing that people like to complain about is the transfer partners, but I personally don't mind them. Also, another reason why I want to lock this card down is because Capital One is really weird with approvals. They're very, very sensitive to the total amount of accounts that you have on your credit report. So you'll see people with over 800 credit scores still get denied for this card because they already have too many other credit cards open. But because I don't really have that many credit cards open, I'm in a prime position to get this card. And then after I get this card, I can go and chase as many other cards and sign up bonuses as I want to. But if I was to do that first, then I wouldn't be able to get this card. So that's why this is my number 1 priority. But before I go and collect other cashback credit cards, there's one more card that I do want to get. And that is going to be the Saver One. This card gives you some amazing benefits like a very easy to hit $200 sign-up bonus after you spend $500 within the first 3 months, an uncapped 3% back on dining and groceries, and then 5% back on hotels and rental cars booked through Capital One's portal. So first of all, I don't really care about that 5% back on entertainment because I actually don't have any streaming services like Hulu or Disney Plus where I could take advantage of this. I also don't care about that 5% back on hotels and car rentals because by the time I have this card, I'll have the Venture X, which is already giving me 10 points on that. So the only thing that I really do care about is that 3 points back on dining and groceries. Now you might be looking at that measly 3% and be thinking, why would you even want that? There's tons of other cards out there that give you 5% back on dining and groceries. And the reason why is because when you have the Venture X, which I already talked about planning on getting, that unlocks the Capital One travel portal, meaning I could take the 3% back from the Saver card, transfer it over to the Capital One portal, and book it for travel, making that 3% more like 5.5%. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm planning on canceling my American Express Gold card, so I'll need a new card for dining and groceries, and this Saver card is going to slide in perfectly. So after I have these two Capital One cards, I'm pretty much set on travel cards, and from this point, I can start getting some really valuable 5% back credit cards, as well as hitting some high sign-up bonuses. So the next play I'm planning on running is going to be with the City Strata Premier. Before it was called the City Premier and it was just kind of mid. It was okay, but you had to pay a $95 annual fee, and for most people, getting the Chase Sapphire Preferred was just a better option. But this card was rebranded and made the City Strata Premier, and now it's one of the best cards out there in my opinion. The biggest reason that I'm going to get this card is because City is currently giving a 75,000 point sign-up bonus offer. And there's two reasons why I really love this sign-up bonus offer. The first is that if I want to transfer it out to City's travel partners, those points are going to be around 1.8 cents per point, so that sign-up bonus is going to be valued right around $1,300 if I choose to use it for travel. But if you want to redeem for cash back, these points can also redeem at 1 cent per point, which not a lot of other travel credit cards give you the option to do. And the second reason that I like this card is that you can hit that sign-up bonus once every 4 years. Meaning I could open it up, hit that sign-up bonus, product change, or close it down, and then be able to hit that same sign-up bonus a couple years later. This City Strata Premier also has a wide range of rewards. You're going to get 3 points back on air travel, hotels, restaurants, supermarket, and gas stations. So as you can see, it pretty much hits every single one of your biggest spending categories. However, this card does come with a $95 annual fee, but for people that stay in hotels a lot, that's not going to be a problem because you're going to get a $100 statement credit off a single hotel stay of $500 or more. So if you're booking a hotel for 3 to 5 days straight on a vacation, you're going to be able to get that statement credit, and this card pays for itself just like the Venture X does. But as good as this card is, I'm actually not going to be keeping it in my wallet long term, because after I hit and use that sign-up bonus, I'm planning on product changing it to the City Custom Cash. The City Custom Cash adapts to your spending habits, giving you 5% back on your top spending category. So this card is going to essentially be a Swiss Army knife in your credit card setup. You have the ability to earn 5% on gas stations, restaurants, grocery stores, live entertainment, select streaming services, select travel, transit, home improvement stores, fitness centers, and drugstores. So I'll probably use this card as my gas card if the PayPal MasterCard gets nerfed, or just put my gym membership on it. The only downside to the City Custom Cash card is that 5% back is capped at $500 to spend a month. So I can't do any crazy spending with this card. However, I'm not a heavy spender anyways, and if I need it, I'll have a couple uncapped cards in my wallet by this point, so that's not going to be a problem for me. But before I product changes to the Custom Cash, I'm actually going to go and apply for the City Custom Cash while I still have the City Strata Premier, and then make that product change. So when everything's all said and done, I'll have 2 Custom Cash cards. One's going to come with a $200 sign-up bonus, but the other one's essentially going to come with a $750 sign-up bonus because I'm product changing from the City Strata Premier. And then I'll have 2 very, very versatile 5% cashback credit cards. So at this point, I could honestly just stop, but there's one more card that I want to add, and that is going to be the flagship credit card from Navy Federal. The flagship card gives insanely high limits. You can get all the way up to $80,000 on this one card, and you don't even need that good of credit to get a high limit. Navy Federal Credit Union really prioritizes your relationship with their bank, meaning if you do things like set up direct deposit and get loans and other credit cards from them, they're going to approve you and give you high limits on their other products a lot easier. Not only do I already have an excellent credit score, I've already built up a very strong relationship with Navy Federal, and I'm already pre-approved for this card, so I can hop on it whenever I want. The main reason that I'm getting this card is because it gives me a $400 sign-up bonus. But I also get a statement credit for Amazon Prime for $139, so by opening up this card, I'm easily going to get over $500 of value. This card also gives me an uncapped 3% on travel and 2% on everything else. Now, I'm not really going to care about that too much because I'm already going to have the Venture X open, which gives me the same or higher value for both of those categories. This card also comes with a statement credit for TSA PreCheck, but the Venture X also covers that. And unfortunately, this flagship card has a $49 annual fee, and that's not too high, but there's no reason to have a card open in my wallet that has an annual fee if I'm not getting enough value to justify that annual fee. So I'm going to have 2 options here. The first is keep this card open. I've heard from some of my subscribers that Amazon Prime statement credit actually applies every single year, so that would essentially give me free Amazon Prime, which is well over the $49 annual fee, so this card would obviously pay for itself. Or the second option, if that Amazon statement credit doesn't apply every year, is product change it to Navy Federal's cash rewards. This cash reward card gives me 2% back on every single purchase as long as I have over a $5,000 credit limit, which I will. And even though this 2% back really isn't going to be very useful in my wallet, I'll just keep it open for the very high credit limit that's going to strengthen my credit profile. So at this point, I would have opened up 5 credit cards in 1 year, and that's really pushing it, especially because I already have way too many hard pulls on my credit as is, and I've also opened up a lot of new accounts recently. So I'm going to stop there, even though there's one more card that I kind of want to get, and that card is the Gemini credit card. That card gives you 4% back on all your gas and EV charging up to $200, 3% back on dining, 2% back on groceries, and 1% back on everything else. Those rewards are automatically deposited into your Gemini account in the form of Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies that you can choose. And even though that the rewards are pretty decent with this card, it wouldn't be an upgrade over anything in my wallet because I would already have the saver and then 2 custom caches. If I'm being honest, the real reason that I want this card is I think the designs are really, really cool. There's 3 different ones. They're all made of metal. They're super cool. Your card details aren't going to be on them. They're heavy, they're stainless steel. But again, I'm not actually going to get this card. I just kind of feel like it. I might as well go get a Pokemon card instead of this. And also, it's not fair for me to hate on all the Apple Card users that open up the Apple Card for that titanium card and then go and open up this one for no reason. I just think it's kind of cool. So quickly, here's some other cards that I want to add, but I probably won't get to adding around 2026. The first is the Target Circle card. This card gives you 5% off of all your purchases at Target, which pretty much no other card does. I don't really shop at Target all that much, but I do find myself in there maybe a couple times a month for random things like toothpaste or soap or whatever. So adding this card to my wallet eventually is going to be worth it, but it's just not really a priority, especially when I have the Discover It giving me 5% back on Target right now. I also want to add the Ralph's credit card to my wallet. That gives me 5% back on mobile wallet purchases up to $3,000 a year. So this would be perfect to give me 5% back on all my miscellaneous purchases like Petco or any random clothing or nutrition shop that I go into that I don't have a credit card for. I can just use Apple Pay to get that 5% back. The only reason that I'm not getting this card this year is because I already have a lot of inquiries on my credit report, and US Bank does not like to see that at all, so they would probably deny me. But in 2026, I get a lot of those removed, so hopefully by that time I'll have better odds of getting this card. The same logic applies to the US Bank Cash Plus. I'll probably go and pick up that card eventually, but it's really not a pressing need because I'm already going to have 2 custom caches, so I don't really know. And then from there, I'll kind of see what I'm feeling like. Maybe there'll be some new credit cards on the market. Maybe I'll churn out some of the Hilton cards. Maybe I'll get the Amex Platinum just for the sign-up bonus or the PenFi Pathfinder rewards. We'll see. We have a lot of time to think about it, but I think this is a pretty good roadmap going into 2025. Let me know what you guys think of my plan, and make sure you drop down in the comments what credit cards you guys want to add. And if you don't know what credit cards to add, comment down what credit cards you currently have in your wallet and what you're thinking of getting, and me and my subscribers will help you out. If you want to see a full breakdown of what I currently have in my wallet, you can click this video here.